Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Capanova event. Before we introduce the speaker, I'm going to take 1 minute real quick to introduce Capanova. Capanova stands for Chinese American Parents Association of Northern Virginia, 中文是北维华裔家长协会. We are a nonprofit organization. We started back in 2021, and over the past 4 years, we have delivered more than 1,000 different events for the community, ranging from book club meetings, speaker series, financial literacy workshops, you name it. So, I want to say that perhaps Capanova is the most active community group in the local area. And in the past 4 years, we actually have a major theme for our youth as well. And this past year, we have a theme called 美国高中特色活动介绍. In this particular series, we have focused on introduce some of the special programs for the American high schools, and our student speakers are very, very I want to say, they are some of the most brilliant, most excellent students in this community. And for the parents, the purpose for this particular series is to help our parents understand more about American high school. The reason why is in the environment that we grew up back in China, a lot of the programs were very much controlled and managed by the school. There are very few student-led, student-organized activities. But here, the student club is actually a major part for American high school. And today, actually, Jiayue, she has been on our platform before and talking about the writing particularly. But today, as a matter of fact, she is going to speak with her friend Alice Kim and talk about from editor of high school magazine to start their own publication. Again, this is another major adventure for these two young students, and I don't know, how many parents in the audience ever start your own publication, and I think this is going to be a fantastic opportunity to learn from both of them. I want to give a quick introduction about our speaker today. Jiayue, she is the founder for their publication, and Jiayue is a sophomore at McLean High School. She has a passion for journalism, and she likes to listen to music in her free time. Alice, her co-founder and on their publication, she is also a sophomore at McLean High School, and she loves to write and read, and during her free time, she enjoys play violin. Incredible talents, and again, I just want to say thank you for both of you. Take your time and introduce to our community your passion, your journey starting your very first publication. So it must be very exciting. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to give the stage to Jiayue and Alice. Go ahead. Stage is yours.
Let me first quickly share my screen and then we can get started. Okay, I think everyone can see my screen. Okay, so first I would like to thank Capanova for giving me this amazing opportunity to present about journalism, something that I really love and enjoy doing, and also introducing our own magazine to the world. And so first I would like to, as Miss Joel already introduced to us, I'm the founder of the Present News Magazine, and my name is Jiayue, and I'm a sophomore at McLean High School. When I first started it, I believe, in my freshman year. I had the idea of this news magazine in my summer before freshman year, and then I actually started it up and started its own Instagram in the second semester of my freshman year, and now I'm slowly trying to build it up. And then so I thought I needed a couple more hands on board, so then I asked my friend Alice to join me and help me really build this organization up. So I'll just hand it over to Alice.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Alice. I'm a sophomore at McLean High School. I love to write and read and play the violin. It's my pleasure to work with Jiayue and Capanova at this presentation.
Okay, so with that introduction out of the way, this is a few of the topics that we're going to be going over in this seminar. So first, I'm going to talk everything about high school journalism, what you need to know about it, and then I'm going to go and introduce our news magazine, and then talk about hate crimes, which is what our magazine is centered around, and then also talk about its impacts and what you can do as an individual and as a community. So first, let's talk about high school journalism. So getting involved in school publications is really simple. Journalism is an electives course. And so at McLean High School, you can take journalism, and what you do in journalism is you work on the school magazine. And so at McLean, the school magazine is called The Highlander. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard about it. And then at Langley, the Langley, the magazine is called The Saxon Scope. So I'm sure you guys heard these words kind of hopping around the community, but that's something that is a really fun electives course to take. And just to preface, since I am attending McLean High School, I only know the details about McLean High School journalism and not necessarily the details of any other high schools. But if you do want to learn more about that, I would recommend to ask students of those high schools that you want to learn more about. But of course, in the end, I think generally it's the same. So a little bit about what you do in journalism. So in journalism, you would conduct interviews and then write articles based on these interviews. Journalism writing is a little different from standard like short stories or fantasy writing. It's more centered around real people and the interviews that you get from that you would get from conducting interviews with people around the school. And then you would also take photos and then do some design for your pages. And then that all comes together to create these high school news magazines. And then something that I also want to mention is there's a different type of journalism elective that's also offered, I believe, almost at every high school. It's called broadcast journalism. And this is a little different from the standard journalism that I just talked about. Broadcast journalism focuses mainly on media and TV production. So like I said before, journalism that I just talked about focuses more on writing articles, but broadcast journalism is a little different. Each high school has their own news show, and that is what broadcast journalism does. So if you're interested in broadcast journalism, that's also another option open for you. And so this is an image of an example of the high school magazine. This is the Highlander, McLean High School's student magazine, and these are two of the most recently published magazines. I believe one is the October issue, and the other one is the November issue. Usually we would release around 6 to 7 issues a year, so that's a lot of issues, but each of them have their own interesting coverage and interesting topics
But I can't stay. I still have to work.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, please mute yourself when you get in. Go ahead.
You guys can look at. I think if you go to McLean High School or even Langley, you can pick up a few copies if you want to look more into it. And something about the Highlander is that we have won consecutive awards over the past several years. And I believe we are one of the top ranking high school magazines in the nation, but you can fact check me on that. It's something that I've heard before. And something else that is part of the McLean High School journalism, and also almost every other high school, is there's the Highlander news site, which is the online news site for these articles that we post. We post like different kinds of online articles. There's also podcasts and videos that you can enjoy on the website as well. This link you can't click, but if you go to the highlandernews.com, it's something that you can visit and try to browse. There's a lot of different kinds of coverage on school-related things and also some local events that happen as well. So let's go into some more of the logistics and specifics of journalism. So at McLean High School, there are 4 different classes of journalism. There's journalism 1, 2, 3, and 4. Journalism 1 focuses on more building the foundations and basic skills of journalism, like how to write articles in journalism style, how to conduct interviews, how to take photos, and how to use these different applications that you use in the class. And then in journalism 2, 3, and 4, that's where you come together with everyone else in the journalism classes to create the school news magazines, as I showed you on the previous slide. So it's really just one big community that's being formed in the journalism class, and that's something that I really enjoy. And then another thing that is unique about journalism as an elective is that there are different responsibilities or jobs that you take on. And what this means is that at the end of every single year, you would apply for a job and then you would get an interview. You would have to have an interview for that. And then if you get the job, then the next year you would be fulfilling those responsibilities. There's a lot of different examples of it. For example, you can be different section editors, which if you've seen the Highlander or the Saxon Scope, there are different sections of the news magazine. So there's like news, there's features, there's A&E or arts and entertainment, and then there's also sports section. So each of these sections have their own editors, and these are examples of roles that you could try to apply for at the end of the year. And then another thing that's really unique about journalism and something that I really enjoy about it is late nights. Something called late nights is where it's a time or a week of time where you stay after school to finalize and really wrap up the work that you do for the school magazine, just so everything is well done and ready for publication. Now, it might seem like really terrible to stay after school more than you have to, but trust me, it's actually really fun because you're just working on journalism, and also it's a great time to socialize with your friends. And since late nights, as the name suggests, we stay later into the evening, so around dinner time. So a lot of people bring food and different snacks and people just enjoy it all together. And it's really great community building and a really good environment to make new friends. So that's what makes journalism very fun to do, and it's very enjoyable. And then, as I mentioned before, we have an online news site. So what we also do, apart from the magazine, the physical copy, is we regularly contribute articles online. So what that means is that every quarter we are required to do a certain amount of articles to gain credit. And then that's how we have such an amazing news site available online with diverse number of topics being covered. And so that I've talked a lot about high school magazine and journalism. So how did I end up having the idea of creating my own, right? So it really started after the pandemic when I saw that these major news stations like ABC News, NBC News, they started more frequently reporting on hate crimes. And I thought that was really interesting. So then I went on and did a little bit of research on my own and saw that it was indeed true that there was a spike in hate crimes over the past years, especially after the pandemic. So I thought that was something that I want to raise more awareness on. And in combination with my passion of journalism, which I found around 8th grade, I created Present, the student-run news magazine that we have today. And so a little bit about this magazine. There's like a whole paragraph that you don't have to read, and I'm just going to briefly summarize it. So it was created to raise awareness for culture and race-based hate crimes through unbiased storytelling, which is what journalism is. And then while doing this, I also want to shed light on various cultures to promote value of the diversity that we have in today's world. And then so our main goal is to uncover the facts, promote awareness, and prevent future victims of hate crimes. So there are a couple places you can find us in. So there's our website called presencenews.com, or you can scan the QR code. It's much easier that way. And then also on Instagram, you can find us there, which is the image right there. And you can also scan the QR code located here, which is probably a lot more convenient for everyone. And then so now I've talked a lot about hate crime, our organization, our news magazine. Now our focus is mainly hate crimes. And so with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Alice.
Yeah, so as we mentioned before, hate crimes are the main focus of present news. Hate crimes are basically a crime motivated by a certain bias. And in this context, hate refers to bias, or bias refers to hate. And on the next slide, there are various biases that often drive hate crimes. Bias can stem from someone's race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability. Present news focuses on the bolded top 4 biases. Hate crimes happen in a variety of ways. For example, they could be through verbal assaults, where the victim is targeted with hateful languages. Threats are another common form of hate crimes, as they create fear and intimidation. Physical assault, which causes severe injuries, range from harm caused by beatings or attacks using weapons, which correlates to the next bullet point, which shows weapon violence. In the most extreme cases, hate crime can lead to murder. And although hate crimes happen in various forms, it is important to note that they all send a central message of hate and exclusion. As indicated by the graph on this slide, there has been an increase in hate crimes over the years. For example, in 2015, there were approximately 6,000 hate crimes, while in 2023, there were approximately 12,000. Over these 8 years, the number of hate crimes doubled. And especially in 2019, there was a large increase in hate crimes from 2019 to 2020, which was when COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. So now we're going to look at a few incidents of hate crimes. In September, Ri Jing was discovered to have posted online threats against the Park Valley Church in Haymarket, Virginia. He was found with weapons attempting to commit harm on those in the church. This is an example of hate crime based on bias against a certain religion. And in February 28, 2024, 2 Latino men ages 29 and 54 were shot at a gas station in Thornburg, Virginia. Investigators believe the victims were targeted because of their Latino background, and this exemplifies hate crime based on ethnicity. Hate crimes have far-reaching impacts that go beyond the immediate harm inflicted. For victims, trauma is profound and they often live in fear of their safety. Hate crimes target victims because of their identity, and this can lead to a drastic change in their overall lifestyle. The victim's family, too, may also experience secondary trauma caused by grief, fear, and anger. Some psychological impacts that hate crimes cause include anxiety, depression, PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. For the community, hate crimes can cause a wave of negative emotions throughout the wave of negative emotions because they may influence how they act and interact with another. For example, an attack on someone because of their ethnicity sends a message to an entire group of people that they are not safe. So what can you do to help prevent and mitigate hate crimes? First, it's crucial to understand. The more we understand about why and how these crimes happen, the better we will be individually and as a community have the potential to identify threats and prevent them beforehand. The next is raising awareness. So when you see news about hate crimes, pay attention and spread the word about their harmful effects. And through this, we can build collective strength against hatred and raise awareness by telling people. The last is community policing. If you see something, say something. This can start by reflecting on your own biases and fostering a positive environment in your local area. There are also many options for reporting hate crimes through many organizations, one of which is Present News. Being an active, supportive community member can go a long way to mitigating future hate crimes.
So sorry, I was muted. So now I want to introduce to you guys a little feature of Present that we have, and it's located in the top right corner of our website if you visit it. And so now that we've learned a lot about hate crimes and us as an organization, we want you to know that if you or anyone you know experienced hate crime, you can share your story with us and then fill out the form here on our website. And then we can get in contact with you to try to figure out how you want to convey your own story. There's different ways that you can do that. You can write your own story and then we can help you edit it, or we can do an interview with you and we can try to convey your story to the best of our ability. And things like this can be discussed later on, but we do encourage you to share your story to let everyone else know that they aren't alone and to raise a lot more awareness about this issue. And so this kind of leads me to another topic, which is we want to hear your voice. So we are looking for interviewees like victims or witnesses of hate crimes. So then we will be able to help help people understand a different perspective of hate crimes. So people will be able to understand more and be able to raise a lot more awareness. People involved in law enforcement would also provide very helpful insight on this issue as a whole, as well as professionals in the related fields. They would give us really helpful and insightful information to be able to support our mission as Present and as a news magazine working to combat hate crimes. So we've gone through a lot of different topics. We went from starting with a high school magazine to creating our own news magazine and then our central mission. And then so I do want to go over really quick at the end, like the challenges that we have gone through with creating a news magazine on our own. So one of the challenges that I do realize over these past few months of building up our organization is that there is a lack of exposure of our news magazine to the outside world. And that's when Kappa Nova came in and gave us this great opportunity to let more people know about us and let more people know about our mission. And so we were struggling over the past few months to get people to interview and try to convey and share a story of hate crimes. And so we want to take this chance to try to get people to open up and take this opportunity to share their voices and let them be heard. And so we also want to thank Kappa Nova again for this great opportunity. And so with that, we can end with some questions. If anyone have any questions about anything we talked about, like from High School Magazine, we can answer that, or about our organization or about hate crimes in general. So if anyone has that, we are very happy to answer.
All right. I see Giselle has her hands up, but Giselle, just give me a second before I'm going to let you ask the question. Alice and Jiayue, I just want to say thank you for the presentation, and for those who came in late, I want to again just want to let everybody know why we are doing this special series this year. 我们今年和去年very much going to continue 这个美国高中的这个特色活动。This year particularly, where we want to put a special focus on the students club and to just like Jiayue said, to give them the exposure, to let them let the community know what they're doing, to gain tractions to their website, gain support from the public. And again, I believe a lot of activities, what they do has a great benefit for our community as well. Okay, Giselle, go ahead, ask your question.
Hi. So I'm actually also a freshman at McLean, and like as you know, like course selections are coming up, And you mentioned before for journalism, there was 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I was wondering like if we have to start like in journalism 1 or if we could just like skip to 2 or 3.
So you actually do have to start with journalism 1 because like I mentioned before, that is the class where you build your foundations of journalism. But there are instances where you could skip if the teacher allows you to, but I think those are rare occasions. So I think, yeah, to answer your question, you do have to start with first journalism 1.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Giselle. I know Giselle also has a club and a nonprofit organization of her own, and perhaps one day we're going to feature your club and let a community know as well. And I just want to share with you, Jiayue and Alice, when you said your publication's name is Presence and Present, and it somehow reminds me of a TED Talk that I saw a long time ago. And the speaker also named her presentation Present. And but in her talk, she was telling everybody her journey overcome her cancer. And basically, the the trauma that she discovered that she has cancer and how she, um, you know, from that moment starts to gain a new perspective of life. What does life mean? How treasure, each moments are, and so in another word, this you know very devastating news, cancer, all of a sudden becomes a present for her life. And I feel like, somehow you are doing something similar, using the hate crime to bring public awareness and to help everybody understands that there's no room for such crime. In this community, we should foster compassion, love, understanding, and support for each other. And that is the true presence that you want to deliver for this community. And again, I want to congratulate both of you for this wonderful idea and the marvelous work that you do. Now, talk to me. Hate crime. How do you define that, and how the difference between hate crime versus bully that we often perhaps see more around our daily life?
Yeah, so if you go back to our slide over here and then on this slide, hate crime is usually hate crime is on the extreme side of things. And I guess bullying can be like a branch of that, but bullying is usually referred to like in schools and things like that. That's what people tie it to. And they usually target it based on like for bullying, it's usually not specific things. It's just how people perceive someone, like they don't like a certain person, not because of a certain reason. Maybe it's just like they don't like them. But hate crimes are usually have like a specific bias to it. Like for example, like race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability. But of course, people can also get bullied due to that. But the thing is, like, bullying isn't classified as like a crime per se, but hate crime is, and that involves like verbal assaults, threats, physical assault, murder, and things like that.
Well, again, talk to me, because what I know is sometimes bully, even though the person who um, instigate such act may not pose as physical assault or weapon or murder, to that extreme, but it can really cause, depression on the victim, and over the time, suicide a self-injure, those all can occur. Would you call that also as hate crime or no? It's not.
Well, it depends on because hate crime is usually it really depends on where it stems from. So if it doesn't have a certain bias, like these listed here, for example, then it wouldn't be classified as a hate crime. Rather, it would just simply be bullying. But if it does have like these certain motivations, then it would be classified as a hate crime, especially if it involves like verbal assault threats like that. And the impacts, yes, they do have like the same impact. So that's why they are remotely different. So both of them do need awareness and to be raised.
Nice, nice. So Alice, you want to add on to what Jiayue said?
Yeah, so I think bullying can really escalate into the criminal territory of hate crimes when threats, assaults are involved. So if the key difference between bullying and hate crime is that hate crimes really target one's identity, specific characteristics that make someone who they are. And when bullying hits on those spots, I think it can definitely escalate into hate crimes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so also question, so far, how do you do your investigation or reporting? Is it mainly from what you read from the news, or you have actually interview like police stations, or how do you go about getting your articles and stories?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So since we just started it and really started like getting it moving, right now we've been doing brief coverages on our Instagram, which you can find and visit there. And what that does is we read news and do some research on the different cases that happen across the nation. And then we do our own little reporting on it on Instagram. Right now, we are really trying to working on getting interviews by real people around the area to try to actually like share the real voices of real people and really get the message out there, which is exactly what we're doing with this presentation at the end, where we're trying to get people to like open up and contact us to help share their story.
Just curious, in the class, does it cover, I mean, since you're mentioning that you're actually going to interview the real people and potentially victims or, whoever that has experienced this, do you worry about, again, we're talking about real crime and, we're talking about potential, serious violence that's involved. Do you worry about your own personal safeties and get yourself tangled in some of the cases, or I mean, are there courses talking about that, how to protect yourself?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. So in my mind, I would take all the safety precautions that we need. So first, we would obviously verify when we look for people, we would verify that they're actually like the people. And usually we wouldn't go as far as interviewing the perpetrators, but if it does call for that, we will have the necessary precautions. But usually we wouldn't go as far as that. We would mainly, because we want to focus on the victim story and try to get their story out there rather than the perpetrators.
Very nice. Again, on the publication side, what I'm curious is how much time does it take, for you to, I mean, I know it's just starting. Do you have a business plan on how often you're going to have this published and what is the cost and how you're going to, cover that cost? Are there advertising, opportunities? How you run your business? Just curious.
Yeah, so our publication is less so of a business rather than we would, if it comes to advertising, we would make our own advertisements, for example, posters, and try to attend different events. And usually that wouldn't go into too much of the expenses, but for interviews and writing articles, that stuff is all on our own. That shouldn't require any expenses to be spent. But that's usually as so far as like spending money goes.
Yeah, and we're also trying to plan a fundraiser so that we can like a fundraising bake sale. We still need to plan out the logistics and all, but we want to use that fundraising opportunity to raise some money and send that in support of people of other send those funds to other organizations that work with the same purpose as us.
Nice, nice. Just so you know, Capanova, we had a community fair last September, and again, that is very much around different business partners that we have affiliated with. And this year, we're likely going to do it again. And this year, as a matter of fact, we are going to put a special focus on the youth club. So get ready and for September and showcase your have a booth, showcase what you accomplished, and that can be a really nice fundraising opportunity for your club. All right. Do we have any other people who has questions for our speakers?
Could I ask a question?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So you just said that you do like fundraising for these like youth clubs. So I like own this newspaper at Longfellow. I go to Longfellow right now. And I was wondering if we could also like we could like go to that fair in September, and
Yes,
because we are
yes.
also looking to do like fundraising things with like bake sales and stuff.
Yes, yes. This is what Capanova's, stands for. We want to support our youth, support our parents, and so yes, that's definitely. And please feel free to reach out to Yuelan. Yuelan is our youth group leader for our core team, and at the likely around August, we are going to start planning on this event. And for everyone who are interested to be part of this community fair and wants to have a table, contact us in advance. The table is
Okay.
gonna, yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And please make sure your parents are part of the
这他
Capanova.
的话，他自己的话，他说那
Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure all the students understand your parents needs to register with Capanova as part of the member. So, again, those are, the member fee is really, really low for the entire family. Whole year is only $50, so anyway, join us and be part of the force, make change, make impact. All right, any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, well, why don't we, I wonder, Alice, if you can share a story from your publication, and I just want to see what kind of, I know you had a couple examples in the PPT, but if you can share with us one of the writings that you have in the publication, I think that would be really nice.
Okay, let me like stop sharing and then we can share your Instagram if you want. Oh, oops.
Okay.
Yeah, because we post like almost weekly updates on hate crimes, recent news on hate crimes on our Instagram page. So yeah, and we've been really utilizing that site because a lot of teens are on social media, and we feel that like Instagram is a great platform to share our online presence and just really raise awareness. So like when teens scroll through their Instagram and like one of our posts show up, it's like a really nice and meaningful pause from some dopamine of the day, and just like a reflection on social settings, and really like sheds a light on important matters. So Jiayue, if you have that
Yeah.
ready.
Okay, so this is like a thing. We started it, I think this is the first post that was like a while ago. And then we've been consistently posting, and then you can tell that it's not just hate crime, it's also like uh different holidays related to like hate crimes, and also different kinds of heritage months that sheds light on different cultures, which is also one of our missions as a organization. So you can see these are some hate crimes, and then also like special cultural events that happen around the community as well. We also gain put more exposure to. And then these are another one. This is a little summary of some December hate crimes that happened across the nation, as well as a year-end review of one. So these are all like brief coverages here. And you can tell this is something that we are really passionate to do. And then we are really excited to kind of branch out and write actual articles with real input from different people to really expand our reach and reach more people.
Yeah, and that would
Nice.
involve having interviewees.
Okay. So you have 21 posts so far. Very nice. All right. Okay, talk to me about AAPI. What you trying to focus on stories and on that part?
Okay, so we aren't focusing on a specific heritage, but we will be putting a lot of emphasis on different kinds of cultures, including AAPI. And so we want to, in the future, do more events related to these different heritages to kind of bring awareness and bring like, so people can understand and see more of the beauties of these different heritages. And that's something that is really important to us, as not only to raise awareness on the hate crimes and like the ugly side of things, but also kind of the beautiful, diverse cultures that we see around our community.
Yeah, because the ultimate goal is to lessen hate and increase more of a unifying force of the community, and just really creating some harmony between harmony with all the different aspects of who we are.
Understand. Very nice. Now, just curious for McLean High, do you guys have like a daily broadcast in the morning and I talk about the news for the school day and what's going on? Do you have that in
Yeah.
school?
Yeah, we
Okay.
have the news show that usually broadcasts at the end of the day,
Oh,
and that is what broadcast journalism does. So that's like the elective. That's what they do.
are you both part of that group or
I'm
helping?
part of journalism and not broadcast journalism.
Okay.
And I am not part of journalism, but as a student at McLean who receives those stuff from what journalism people do, they hand out like those publications every month, I think, during lunch period. And when that happens, like I really enjoy reading all the news that students wrote, and taking it home and just reflecting on it again. Yeah, it's a great way to pull the school together.
Nice. Yeah, so again, congratulations on this fantastic adventure. And I just hope that you can keep on doing what you feel passionate about, that not just um, you, you try it a couple years and then I mean maybe jump on something else. But anyway, I think you're on a mission, sort of, and really trying to make a meaningful impact. And I do know there was, I don't think I think she is also from McLean High. I forgot. But anyway, it was a long time ago. And anyway, she was more focusing on mental health related topics. And she has done, some really nice writings. And actually, her publication got awarded, and she went to Yale because of that. So it was really nice. Anyway, all right, I better stop yapping. And do we have any other questions for our speakers? Giselle and Eileen, I want to say I want to see both of you at September Fair, Wolf, community fair, if you can
Okay.
join us. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Giselle, do you want to set up a session with Yuelan as well, and to do a presentation for your club?
Oh, yes, that'll be perfect.
Okay, yeah, please do that. And Eileen, what kind of club do you have?
So it's like a complete 100% like student run newspaper, and it's like an actual physical copy of the newspaper. We like print it out, and then we distribute it to like people who sign up, and we put it in their lockers every Wednesday. So we just like we write articles for it like on the latest news that relates to Longfellow students. And yeah, I have like a really dedicated team that like we work on it every week.
Nice, nice. Maybe one day we can recruit all of you to do some publication for Capanova, and
Yeah, that'd be great.
We have tons of events going on, and to promote our community, to promote some of the activities. I think that would be a really needed area, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, just spread word around, tell your friends. I will let Yuelan know that both of you are interested to be a speaker on Capanova's platform, introduce your club, and by September, when we have the community fair, I would love to have both all of you join us, and to showcase at that time. Do we have any other questions, comments? All right, Jiayue, Alice, again, congratulations, and thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. And I have to say, I'm really envy both of you for the talent, the courage, and I also want to say, it again. I believe it is going to have some major impact for your life later on, and when you look back, you will say, "Wow, we did that." This is really cool, and it's something really proud. All right, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, and we're going to close our session for tonight. Thank you all, everybody, for joining us. Thank you. Good
Thank you
night.
so much. Good night.
Yeah,
Bye bye, 阿姨，谢谢。
yeah, bye bye.